Entrepreneurial activities are relied on all over the world as key for rapid positive growth to the economy of a nation and the quality of life of the people. However, the present poor state of the Nigerian economy is a sad reminder that the country's tremendous potentials for growth and poverty reduction are far from being utilized. Today, we are discussing entrepreneurship in Nigeria, challenges and possible solutions. This is Break It Down. Hello and welcome to Break It Down, where we make matters of policies, societal issues, governance and development easily understood by all. Today we shall be looking at entrepreneurship in Nigeria, challenges and solutions. And I'm very, very glad and very, very excited to be speaking one of Nigeria's most exciting, most successful youths. He is one of the most enterprising young Nigerian entrepreneurs you can find, a trailblazer in his chosen field. I'm with Dr. Bright Echefu. Dr. Bright Echefu is CEO MD of TSTV. I'm
honored also to fall into the category of people you actually look out, to interview on your program. So I feel privileged. And I'm very grateful for the honor.
The whole nation is looking at you.
Thank you so much.
And the whole nation is interested in you.
Thank you so much.
Because you're doing something very great.
Thank you.
Yeah. For the benefit of our viewers who don't know what pay TV is, what is pay TV?
Okay, pay TV is basically what we do. Okay, we say video at home. What you watch through your television, but this time around you pay for the service. Unlike before when we had terrestrial broadcast, where people have to use antennas and all of that. So we have the DTT and the DTH now as the digital form of television broadcasting. So we are a DTH operator. We offer services via satellite dishes. So with that, you are able to see multiple channels right at your doorstep. That's it.
While we were booking for this interview, I was like, whoa. I was told 7 a.m. I had to beg for 8 a.m. And it reminded me of my chairman, High Chief Dr. Raymond Dokpesi, when we were starting out on AIT. We were always not sleeping because we were following his footsteps. He never slept. So I realized that great men don't sleep, actually. What exactly is your key driving force to becoming an entrepreneur?
Okay, the truth is this. Nigeria generally, the Nigerian youth, right from time when you are born, you are trained by your parents to learn to be independent. Yeah. And the moment you grow up to age, you build up that same spirit of being independent, trying to make something come out of whatever you're doing. As an entrepreneur, what I've been able to do with the word entrepreneurship basically is to create something unique, okay, and see how I can actually make it become a model for others, to improve on. You said High Chief doesn't sleep. Yeah. The truth is actually, I try to sleep, but I don't sleep for too long because there's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of burdens you are carrying, both in terms of operations of the company. You are thinking about a whole lot of things. You want things to be perfect. You want things to work. So, you try to sleep when you need to sleep because sometimes the body gets to tell on you just need to sleep for some time. I try to sleep at least 3-4 hours a day.
So let's talk about the entrepreneurial spirit, because I don't think I have it, because I like my sleep. I like to be myself. I like to be driven the way the wind moves me. But this entrepreneurial spirit, do you build it or are you born with it?
First, one thing about, I'm a bit spiritual in my thinking. Everybody has some kind of gift deposited. The only thing you need to do as an individual is to see how you can express that gift and make the best out of it. I saw some virtue in me, originally deposited by God, and I feel greatly, I'm happy that God also gave me the grace to express that gift. So it's a vision that would definitely outlive me. So I wouldn't say I wasn't born with the spirit. I can say also that the activities around me has helped the spirit or the vision to actually grow and well nurtured as well through the help of God and my family, at least helping me with the right. If your family doesn't support your dreams, definitely it will collapse with time. So I have gotten quite some level of support from my family. I've gotten support from individuals, just like you are also supporting us. So quite a lot of people have been there to also help to nurture this and make sure this doesn't fail. So that's the thing about entrepreneurship with me. It's innate, and also there's a little bit of environmental and also social factors that help to nurture it properly.
I noticed when I was coming in and looking at your meetings, observing the people that you work majorly with youths. Is it a deliberate company policy to employ youths?
Yeah, I can say that 75 to 80% of our staffing are young minds. And the reason being that, of course, we own the future. So we have to really nurture it ourselves. The older ones are there to also guide us based on the level, their experience. They've seen life more than we have done. And where we're making mistakes, they are there to also put us back to shape. But the future actually belongs to the younger minds. So that's why we have a lot of young people working with.
And they have more energy to work.
Yes, of course, they have more energy. Right.
Like now, if you put me here, I will not come to work. Let's talk about funding for businesses in Nigeria. How difficult is it to get funding?
I can tell you that it's near impossible to get funding from agencies that are supposed to fund businesses in Nigeria. Something tells me if TSTV was probably a US company, by now would have gone far. I'm not saying that we're not going well, but the pace at which the growth is compared to what it would have been if we were a foreign company, you can see there's a clear divide. Funding for businesses in Nigeria, one, the banks will not lend you money. The bank will rather give money to people who they consider exposed to government, and people who perhaps they feel have that, will I say, godfathers either in government. Unfortunately, it's very difficult to see an entrepreneur access funds. As big as Innocent is, I'm sorry to use him as an example, for him to access funds from a commercial bank is difficult. At least he has been there for a longer time. I won't tell you what I don't know. I'm telling you some things I'm very sure of. I personally I've tried to access funding from banks. It hasn't really worked. They will want to ask you for collaterals that they know you can't afford or you don't even have. They sometimes will tell you to bring certain, the conditions they will give you will be so stringent. So, to be honest with you, I try not to take bank loans. I've tried once, twice to assess, but it hadn't worked. I even approached the bigger ones like the Bank of Industry. It didn't work. So, I now work based on what is available to me. It's unfortunate that we don't value entrepreneurship in Nigeria. The likes of Facebook, the likes of Twitter, you know how they all started. Elon Musk didn't just come becoming a big player, just like that. There were institutions that supported him. And today, they have the economy in the US is massive. Go to South Africa and see how businesses are supported by both local authorities and all of that. But in Nigeria here, it's totally different. Even once you leave school, the only thing that is important now is how to make money to feed yourself. That's what the Nigeria has been built to be like. But in other countries, when people leave institutions like school, they already have beautiful things they want to do. go to Israel. Israel is less than 10 million people. But I can tell you, 90% of some of the major weapons we have currently being used globally come from there. When it comes to technology, Israel is the highest. That's because from the day one, there are lots of institutions already set in place to help young minds with creative ideas to, effectively implement those things.
Could this be a defect of government policy? Because they come to tell us that they try to help local businesses.
How many people have you seen helped by government? The people they help, I'm sorry to say, is people in the likes of big players who have been there for a very long time, and they support them to remain there, big like that. You hardly can see young people that would say, I got this help from government to enable me establish this factory, or I established this IT firm through the funding I got from a government project, government support or anything. What we see most times is where people have to go borrow from different individuals. I have this beautiful idea. I go meet this person and say, please help me out. I want to do this thing. And then if the person is compassionate enough and feels that you're saying something that he's interested in too, I want to fund you. But to be honest with you, getting funding for businesses in Nigeria and you're looking up to government, zero. It's not possible. Yeah. Or it hasn't worked for me. I don't know of other people, but I know it hasn't really worked for a lot of people.
I had a friend who worked in the banking sector, and he would always tell me they don't support businesses when they're growing. And once the business is steady, they want us to go and
I'll paint a picture for you. When I was starting TSTV, I know I approached some banks. I shared my ideas with some very big banks, and then they were not interested. But the moment they started hearing so much about TSTV, how TSTV was, the publicity was so high then, and then they started coming close. I saw there are sometimes I'll come to work, and as early as 8 o'clock, there are bank managers waiting outside to see me. And the first thing I ask them is, what are you coming to do? To come and take part of the one I have? No, it's not done. You're not ready to support me. Soon, when things became tight, you see them withdraw. But once things fall back in place, you see them come back. There's this hypocritical attitude some of these institutions have for businesses. You see them say things that, you can take loans at this rate, you can get this without collateral and all of that. But, okay, a young person that comes out of university, what collateral can he possibly give? No, let's look at it that way. Okay, you have a project, a very big project that can actually give jobs to, let's say, 100 people. But you need funding for, let's say, 20 million to effectively do it. Where will you get it from? The young man from Ijebu-Ode, whose parents are probably peasant farmers and all of that, how will he get a collateral worth 20 million naira that I can give to a bank for the bank to fund? Those are the things. We don't have investment bankers or investment banks in Nigeria. That's the problem. See, I can tell you, there's a friend of mine I told sometime that if you are an entrepreneur and you succeed in Nigeria, then you are a superhuman being. Because it's more difficult to succeed in Nigeria as an entrepreneur. Very difficult. So if you have succeeded, I can make some inference from, let's say there are some individuals who have really excelled, like Paystack, Flutterwave. Yeah. Now they are big players in the payment gateway industry, and they got there through personal sacrifices. Today, the international community is seeing the opportunities in what they are doing, and that's why they are giving them so much money to survive and stand. Okay, but you mean Paystack had been here for 6-7 years, Flutterwave had been here for 3-4 years, and no Nigerian bank has thought it necessary to support them or even to buy into what they're doing. It took a foreign body to come in and say, okay, fine, we see what you're doing, we'll be looking at your activities, and we are very interested in making you grow. Now they are almost $1 billion company, or more than that. And that is the beauty of, we don't see what we have. We don't value what we have in this country. There are a lot of young minds. Look at the kind of people I work with here. Intelligent, smart people. Very smart people. You need to see the things they create. Okay? When it comes to satellite technology, I have some good hands here. And you'll be so surprised at how good these people are. I don't know how to, amazing things. You see IT guys who could do software, develop software, who could create programs that you yourself will marvel at. Most of the things we do currently, both our subscriber management system, let me share something with you. Our subscriber management system, our CAS operations, you'll be shocked that it's local. But people don't know this. The next thing I would do is to invest in developing set-top boxes locally, like build a major factory where set-top boxes will be made, where meters can be made. We have people here who can program these things. Very good guys. And all they just need is someone to support them and help them grow.
Let's take a break now. Let's take a quick break. We'll be back. We're still with Dr. Bright Echefo of TSTV. We'll be back and we're discussing entrepreneurship today. Stay tuned.
Trending and current issues.
The COVID-19 vaccine is a blessing from my own point of view.
NGOs have a role to play.
Government policies.
Would you agree that the government is proactive enough? I think they are. What is your opinion?
We need to do more.
The training of women
goes beyond rhetorics of government and concrete action.
NGO welfare programs that directly affect the average Nigerian home and the common man in the language that is easily understood by all.
It doesn't matter that the legislative arm and the executive arm should be at loggerhead to show that there's checks and balances.
Where is the checks and balances they ask?
Every Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. on this station.
You're still on Break It Down, and we're still with Dr. Bright Echefo, the CEO MD TSTV, and we're still discussing entrepreneurship in Nigeria, challenges and possible solutions. You were just giving us some grim pictures of how it is with startup businesses and all of that in Nigeria. Is it that government does not have the right policies? Are you pushing for policy change, or do you think government is just not interested?
Okay, I'll paint a picture. At least I'm in the health. I have a bias for health. I'll tell you a little story. Some years back, about 15, 16 years ago, when there was this prevalence of HIV, there was a lot of attention. A country rose to that challenge because they saw an emergency in that. Brazil. At the time, Brazilians were dying heavily, of AIDS, and they needed to produce. They were looking for antiretrovirals. They approached the big players, and they were getting it at very high rates in terms of cost. So they decided, as a country, to license pharmaceuticals, companies in their country to produce generic forms of these drugs. Now, in doing that, you would have gone against international patent rights because you don't own these drugs, really, but you want to produce generic forms. Now, but when you see a situation where there is an emergency, a national emergency, what is expected is that a country will legislate, okay, and try to override or make laws that can override international laws. That's the word. When it comes to national emergencies, I can't be dying and you tell me that I'm dying of something and I can see a solution, before me, and you tell me because of international trade laws, I cannot access that solution. That's wrong. So now what Brazil did was to get their people together and they created a law that overrides all international patent laws in two situations. One is when there are national emergencies, and secondly, whenever the trade laws don't positively affect their citizens. So they made that law and said, okay, fine, we don't want to buy from Pfizer, we don't want to buy from the big players, we want to make our own generic forms. And that's how they started producing antiretrovirals. And of course, the international community started shouting, no, you don't do this, you don't do that. But eventually today, the highest exporter, I use the word, most of the antiretrovirals we have in Nigeria, in Africa, is from Brazil. And today, you go to hospitals, you can get ARDs. You don't have a problem getting it anymore. Sometimes it's even free. That's because some country decided, okay, to take a step that our country has been very, very ineffective in taking. I use that word, ineffective. Situations that happened with the COVID, for example, I expected more. We have lots of licensed pharmaceutical companies in Nigeria. The Nigerian universities, there are a lot of pharmacists coming out from universities in Nigeria. This would have been an opportunity, a big one. Countries are developing their own generic forms of these vaccines. Many countries, even the small countries like Madagascar, are generating their own, and it's working for them. So what stops Nigeria from doing that? If in national emergencies, supports like this can't come, how much more in things that have to do with you and I? So I feel the legislative part of our governance is a bit, I'm not sure they understand that making laws is not only in political situations. They should make laws that can economically affect positively young people who are coming out of the university. Imagine where you have 100,000 people graduating every year, and you are still talking about creating jobs. Why do you have to create jobs? Create an environment where people can actually create jobs for themselves. These are the things I'm talking about. It should be a legislation that as soon as we leave school, if it's possible, the Nigerian Director for Employment should focus more on checking ideas. I have beautiful ideas and I need so amount of money to fund it. Let it be on record that I gave this person 5 million and he wasted it on something.
Okay, is there some sort of secret formula to success? And what advice would you have for young entrepreneurs out there, or would-be entrepreneurs who want to kickstart a business?
Okay, the thing is, nothing good comes easy. So the secret formula for anyone who really wants to succeed is never give up. Never give up. Never give up. A friend of mine, we're not so close really, but he's doing something really great with Iroko. Yeah. So I had a meeting with him sometime in Lagos, and that was something he told me there when the heat was so much on me at that time. And he told me, Bright, the only thing I can tell you is try not to die. And if Joko is listening to me now, at least I took that advice. So try not to die. And that's what I'm telling anybody. It was a candid advice from someone who is also an entrepreneur who has succeeded. He has done big with rock and all of that. So I commend him and his wife for great things they've done. But those advices he gave me then were very, it was a key to where I am today. Never try not to die. Don't give up, try not to die. And that's the advice I can give to anybody.
Okay. Don't give up, don't give up, don't give up. 3 times coming from a successful businessman, and try not to die. That is heavy. However you interpret it, it is a very good advice. Try not to die. As we will try not to die on Break It Down. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for being on the show today. It's been a very enlightening session, a very sobering session. But I learned a lot, as I always like to learn on this show, and I know my viewers have learned a lot too. We were discussing with Dr. Bright Echefu, CEO, MD, TSTV, and we discussed today entrepreneurship in Nigeria, challenges and solutions. This is Break It Down. We'll be back same time next week.